on this pillow. It's fine. Oh God, I can't get out. I'm gonna have to sit.
See, if I sit all the way back, then my feet don't touch the ground.
That's why I'm in the
Cute. I wish that was the case for me.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, we've started. So.
Oh boy. Thanks for that.
I mean, it's cool.
All right. So
Okay.
what are we talking about?
Well, first of all, this is 3 blondes in a brokerage today.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Uh-huh.
And also we wanted to tell you guys a little bit about our Facebook pages, House Hacking, How to House Hack in Denver, and Down Payment Assistance in Denver. Both have super awesome information that we post every day. One of us will post something unique on there, so really great to follow those pages. But today we're gonna do like a little roundtable discussion, and what we're gonna talk about is 5 things we love about real estate. Betty's gonna go first.
I'm gonna go first. What do I love about real estate? Well, I'm kind of new, as you guys know, and just coming up with my 2-year anniversary, and I still wake up every day excited, for the challenge, and just went under contract. So that's exciting.
Yay.
Just that every day is different, and I'm reaching out to people and bringing value. I also really love the education part. I have read so many books and got into so many podcasts. So that is wonderfully and challenging. I was just telling somebody today, I was like, just because you're out of school doesn't mean you stop learning, right? You're constantly learning, and if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. And so I really love that aspect of real estate. I like the rush of a good close, or the
I think it's called anxiety.
no, it's a rush.
I think you
It's
have
a
the wrong
rush.
word.
The pressure is real.
The pressure, I can see how it can get to some people, but I don't mind the pressure at all. I kind of like that pressure.
Yeah.
So I find
You're crazy,
that's
You
exciting.
kind of have to be to BS.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
most.
not for the faint of heart,
No.
for sure.
I think the people that fall out of real estate are ones that can't handle that
that pressure.
for good reason.
Because it is. I don't think they just realize how much pressure we take on for
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
The emotional toll is a lot.
Yeah. I think for me, one of my favorite things about real estate is freedom's not the right word, because we don't actually have a ton of freedom. People think we have a lot more freedom than we do.
Yeah.
But like for me, and this sounds so crazy, but like one of my favorite things is that I don't have to set an alarm in the morning.
Yeah.
And I wake up early, naturally. But if I had to set an alarm to be at an office at a certain time every day, I think it would be depressing to me.
Well, like you almost have someone telling you what you have to do when you have to do it.
Right. But on the other side of that, some people don't do well in this profession because
Exactly.
they don't have someone telling them what to do.
They need the structure, the
Yeah,
discipline.
Right. So I guess that goes both ways. So I think that's one of my favorite things. And also the education piece of it as well. Like on the flip side of that, I like to be able to like educate you guys and work with you guys. That's one of my favorite things. And our clients too. I think there's so much about this industry that people don't know. And so it's super awesome to be able to hold like educational events, like the one with the house hacking event we did with Nicole. And I mean, I think as an industry, there are just some industries that are like very, I don't know, misrepresented.
Yeah.
I think to the consumer, and ours is for sure one of them. And so I think to be able to provide value and information to people and when they really have no idea, I like that piece of it.
What about you?
My favorite is actually like the clients.
Yeah.
I love people. As stupid as that sounds, because most of the time I'm like, I don't want to interact with any of you.
Yeah.
Perfect example, dropping off my daughter second day of preschool, all the parents are like, hey, and I'm like, don't talk to me. I have my sunglasses on and it's raining out, like I don't want to whatever. But I think that's my favorite part of real estate, is that you get to like literally help someone find an investment property, their first home.
Right.
Watching referrals that I've had for years like level up is really like heartwarming and stuff. So I think that's probably my favorite part, but I do love the education. And just being able to have the, like you said, the freedom is the wrong word, but we have the ability, we're our own bosses, and we have the ability to really excel or not. It's all on us. So having that discipline and kind of just freedom to make that decision for ourselves is something that I love.
I think that's what originally got me into this industry actually, was because I was so sick of being the hardest working employee and it not It didn't matter.
Mhm.
You know, like you make the same as the next W-2 employee if that's the route you chose to take. So I think for me, it's like I want to see a direct output from my input, and that doesn't always happen when you're not the boss. And so it was like, okay, this makes sense. Like the harder I work, the more money I'll make, versus I'm going to work really hard and make the same amount of money. At some point, that starts to not compute, and I got to that point.
Well, and the education piece has been very top of mind for me lately, going into having another baby and going, okay, I don't want to do what I did last time and stop everything. I want to keep fueling the fire and things like that, but part of that is we learn something new all the time.
Yeah.
And we've all been doing this for, I mean, even just 2 years. That's a long time in real estate.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
The last 2 years particularly, I would say is the equivalent of like probably 6.
Yeah, because you've had to learn a lot. But there's stuff that it's like, or you start to fall short on things that you were on top of before.
Yeah.
So finding new ways to implement time blocking, to
Yeah.
implement, you know, okay, I'm gonna set, I mean, before showings, I didn't have to map out because we could barely get to one before it was under contract. You know, I showed a couple weekends ago and it was like, I had to map out where to start because we had 8. And then on Saturday when I showed property, there were 4 and it was like, okay, I have to time, is it 30 minutes from this one? Do I have to
Isn't that so crazy? Yeah, now, well,
So we
especially
just
with the
evolve.
inventory too, now it's like we actually get to see more than one house versus like, hey, this is your only option, there's gonna be 38 offers. Good luck.
Yep.
So yeah, I get that. And it's kind of nice too because it's always changing, I feel like, you know, where your first 2 years are gonna be nothing like your next 2 years, and
even 6 months. I mean, we are living in such a unique world in general that, you know, and real estate is such a big part of that. So it's an ever changing, and not every day is the same. That's what else my biggest takeaway too is there's no day that's the same. You don't show up at 8 o'clock and leave at 5.
Yeah.
And
So
know
true.
exactly what's gonna do, what's gonna happen. I have to get this done, blah blah blah. But not anymore. It's like I'm gonna come in here, get these things done, and then other things are thrown in, and you have to be able to adapt.
Yeah, I think time management too. Like you have to be really good at multitasking and be able to handle the stuff that comes at you and not drop the ball on other things. Like Nettie and I were in here yesterday, and she was like, we both were sitting there working. I mean, I got here at like 8, and I looked down and it's like 3 o'clock. I'm like, I haven't gotten anything on my to-do list done, but I've gotten so much done. I've done so many things, but it's not, and that's sometimes like there are just days like that where it's like, you know, on Thursday when I'll be showing in Fairplay, it's like I can't do anything else that day because that's a huge time commitment, and we're gonna look at 8 houses, and it's like, so some days are never the same. Part of me is like, well, we're gonna talk about things that we don't like about real estate, so I'll save that.
Yes.
I'll save that.
We got our
But-
fun in.
Yeah, I think we got 5, but I think there's the other piece I really like about it is like, if you do real estate right, you can reach financial freedom if you're investing in real estate as well. And I think that to me is like the biggest driver is to get to that point because like we have, you know, first access to deals, you know, we see property. The other nice thing about being in real estate is like we look at so many homes that when we see the right home for a client or for ourselves even, it's like instant excitement because you know, you've seen enough. Whereas like the average consumer or even the average investor, they don't look at as many properties as we do. So we know a good deal. And so I think that for us to be able to capitalize on that with our own investment properties is like, it's awesome. Huge. You know, like it's a huge advantage for us as investors. So that's another thing I'm looking forward to when we get there.
Well, in 2 years, I mean, sure, I bought a house, you know, 30 years ago, not quite, 25 years ago, but I bought my first investment house because of this, because becoming a realtor.
Yeah.
And it was right. And we walked into the house and we're like, this is it.
Yeah,
this
is the one.
And so I feel like I now can help somebody a little bit better find that investment property because I've already walked in those steps before.
Right.
So that's helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Okay, well, we're gonna end this one, close this one off, and then get into 5 things that we hate about real estate.
Hate is such a strong word.
But sometimes
But
they're strong feelings, you know what I mean?
They're always strong.
So yes, if you have any questions or comments about what we talked about in today's episode, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next episode.